first, imagine you're walking by a lake or round some boggy ground, and you glance down, and in all that mud and murk, you suddenly see the glint of gold.
In the far west of Ulster, the land is watery and wild. Its bogs and rivers recall the legendary heroes of ancient Ireland. And here in Corrard, County Fermanagh, only a short while ago was discovered the most spectacular single piece of treasure ever found in Northern Ireland. So spectacular that the finder wishes to remain anonymous. For the man who found it, it seemed like no big deal. A twisted pile of metal. Perhaps it was an old car spring or something. But just to be sure, he contacted Ulster Museum, and they thought differently. When he sent them photographs, they were sure. This was a major find, and they wanted it.
It is quite simply the most important single item of prehistoric gold jewellery that has ever been found in Northern Ireland.
And I've got it.
And you've got it.
It's mine.
At the moment.
It's incredible. It's so beautiful. It's called the Corrard Torc, made of nearly 2 pounds of solid gold. It's worth £20,000 just as bullion, but as an antiquity, it's priceless.
The word torc is derived from the Latin to twist. So the twist refers to this beautiful ribbon-like pattern. It originally formed a large circular hoop, and at either end we have 2 interlocking clasps. So these acted like the clasp, yeah, the clasp and necklace or the buckle in a belt. So we're presuming that it was maybe worn around the neck or waist.
And this was a really significant piece. I mean, this wasn't just anyone who owned this. This was someone who was really important and possibly the chief.
When we think of the amount of gold involved in making an object like this obviously belonged to some kind of leader, whether it was a chief, whether it was a woman. Of course, we never can be certain. But, you know, it is really a stunning item of jewellery.
The Torc is 3,000 years old, and it's been deliberately twisted out of shape before burial. When it was made, Ireland was the gold capital of Western Europe, a patchwork of small chiefdoms with a strong tradition of ornate metalwork, as our Torc demonstrates. The design of the Torc is made by carefully twisting a bar of gold, which has 4 corners or flanges in a cross shape. Even today, using brass and modern equipment, it's a tricky business. So you're twisting the gold here. I'm kind of terrified it's going to break.
Me too. It'll get to a point where it's too work hardened and it'll crack.
What's going on here is more than just metalwork. This is about transformation from one state to another. It's about magic. And in the Bronze Age, kingship was all about magic. Spirits kept you on the throne, and the spirits that kept this king safe would be right here, in his Torc. Once the rod is fully twisted, it's finished by bending it into a shape I can wear. This Torc feels amazing. It's so heavy, it's so beautiful. And that was what life was like for the average Bronze Age king. He's covered in gold, and he's covered in magical powers. But when the Corrard Torc was found, it was unwearable. It had been bent completely out of shape. And like all Torcs of this kind, it wasn't buried with a body. Experts believe it was deliberately deposited in the bog.
One idea is it was like an offering to the gods. It was to bring good luck, ward off evil.
It's clearly been coiled, but why would someone do that?
It was actually even more compressed than it is now. And it's almost as if this was sending across a message. This object was no longer to be worn. It was decommissioned. It is almost as if it was just passing from one world to the next. It now could no longer be worn, and to sacrifice that amount of gold in the bog, it must have meant something.
Having been put beyond use, the Torc stayed hidden for 3,000 years, until our finder discovered it and the museum acquired it under the Treasure Act.
It won't be long before that gorgeous Torc takes pride of place here in the Bronze Age gallery of the Ulster Museum. Now, our next find fast forwards us to the First Elizabethan Age. and to the 1500s, when Spain was our mortal enemy.